and welcome to Noting the Knits again. As you can see, I'm in warm Central Florida, and I'm staying at a La Quinta in Cocoa Beach, Port Canaveral, which is not the oceanfront one, but it is the one that was a hotel originally owned by the first 7 Mercury astronauts, as you can see from the sign behind me. And I recommend this La Quinta, especially if you're traveling with a pet. And a couple of incidental pet traveling tips I have. If you're traveling with your cat, I've learned that putting the litter box in the tub is a quick and easy way to clean up after yourself. And if you put a towel down where you put the food and water, that is also a quick and easy way of cleaning up after yourself. So I packed overzealously, as most people do when traveling. I have one project that I will have made progress on by the end of this trip, but will not have finished, and one project that I'm enjoying looking at the yarn, but I'm not going to get to it. So the project I'm having progress on is the Shells and Stones cabled shawl by Lilia Björn, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I've had this pattern and the yarn from Scapius for a number of years, but I'm not as much of a crocheter as I am a knitter, and so the pattern eluded me. I mean, the mastering the pattern eluded me until this year, when I've been making a crochet afghan for my nephew when he goes to college, and that involves front post and back post double crochets. And having mastered that, I thought I might be able to try this shawl, which involves both bobbles and front post, all kinds of things. So it's not very accomplished crocheting, but I'm learning as I go. The yarn is really nice. Scapius R Tribe. This will be the border, and then the main body is in this one. So I think this is silver birch. Let me double check. Silver birch, and this color is blue flower haze. So that is the project that is getting work done on it. The one that's not going to get any work done on it is a Pearl Soho beret, and the designer is Gianna somebody or another. Not everything printed out when I printed this out. So if you go on the Pearl Soho website, this is a pattern for a beret, and the yarn is spindle yarn, and I think it's this one. This is the spindle yarn. This is the it is a fingering weight yarn. No, I'm sorry, this is not. This is the spindle yarn, a fingering weight yarn. 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% mulberry silk. And then this is the tussac, the 60% superfine kid mohair and 40% silk. And you make these together. And this is to go with a wool fleece jacket that I got from Astrid Wild before the tariffs kicked in, and it was a collaboration with Cecilia Blomdahl, a Swedish woman living in Svalbard who has a YouTube channel focusing on their life of adventure in Svalbard, which, if you don't know where that is, you should look it up. And I really like that jacket. It is very warm, and it's not plastic fleece, it's mostly wool fleece. So that's the traveling knitting projects that I brought with me, and I'm going to add some photos because I'm also doing some teaching of crochet to a great niece and great nephew, and I think I overestimated what level of fine motor skills they might have, and thought that we would get to a washcloth if I showed them how to do the half double crochet. And we might, but we started with a chain, and I want to take photos of their chains because they're long chains. And then I think what we'll do is probably some chain jewelry first. And I also taught them, taught one and we'll teach the other how to do a single crochet border on the washcloth, and which I'll make. So that's the plan. Anyway, just thought I'd make a video because I had the time and I have the yarn. Enjoy. Hello again. This is part 2 of the travel video I started at the La Quinta in Port Canaveral, which I highly recommend as a place to stay. Wonderful breakfast, very friendly staff, beautiful courtyard. The video that I made there, which is the one you would have seen just coming into this one, was in the courtyard, and there's a pool off to the side and beautiful landscaping, and just very, very pleasant place to be. This is the La Quinta in Lakeland, which has a palm tree in back of me. I'm not sure it's going to show up because the light in back is probably stronger than the light in this room, but we'll see how that works. So the goal of this trip was to keep myself busy during the week when my nephew is working, and then be with them on the weekends. So part of the keeping myself busy involved going to Winter Haven, Florida, which is the home of Four Pearls Yarn Shop, which is a beautiful yarn shop. And the nearest La Quinta, I go to La Quinta's because they allow for pets, was in Lakeland. So it's about 30 minutes away. Four Pearls is owned by the mother of Emma. And if you're into hand-dyed yarns, you will know that Emma is a young and up-and-coming and very famous already yarn dyer. So I'd never seen her yarns in person, and I thought, well, surely her mother's store would have them all, and I'm pretty sure she did, and they were absolutely gorgeous. Some of the most beautiful yarns I've ever seen. So I had in mind in advance to get the yarn to do the Elton Tea by Joji Locatelli, and they had enough of the mohair silk yarn for me. I wanted blue haze. No, sorry, just kidding. Dusk Till Dawn is the mohair, and I'm not sure what the fingering weight yarn is called, but they were one skein short of having enough fingering weight yarn. So they went across the road to the studio, and I said, well, what's the studio? And the studio across the road is where Emma dyes the yarn. And I took pictures of, I didn't ask permission, so I didn't film any videos in the store, but I took photos of some of the yarns in the store, and I took photos of the building across the street where the studio is, and I'm going to post those and do a little narration after this part of the video. So there's that, and you can look at Ravelry. I don't have the pattern to show you. It's the Elton Tee with the V-neck. So what happens is that a stripe is done in fingering weight and a stripe is done in the coordinating mohair, and I don't have anything like that in my wardrobe, so that will take care of that. Then I kept looking, which was probably a mistake, but they had this absolutely stunning yarn called Mo Slub, and they've combined mohair yarn with slub yarn, and I chose the color Everglades because the way things are going with Florida and conservation, I'm not sure how long we'll have the Everglades, whatever is left of them, but at least I'll have a shawl made with a yarn called Everglades. And then they gave me the pattern called Breezeway, which is by Carissa Browning of CarissaKnits.com, and one of these will make a small, not quite a large, but I could actually make the small a little bit bigger and use up all the yarn, or I could save the yarn for something else. So those are my acquisitions at the Four Pearls yarn store. Then I thought you might like to know what I'm using for my travel carry yarn bag. I'm not actually using an official yarn bag. I'm using a Land's End crossbody bag, which has an adjustable strap for the crossbody part or handles, and it's got my cute little first initial there. And inside, let's see if I can show you the inside. Inside, it has enough room for the yarn for my Stones and Shells crochet project. This is the border color, and the pattern, and my fancy pencil from Jet Pens, love them. And I've made a little bit of progress, in case anyone wants to know this, little progress on the shawl part, and by now I'm practically good at the stitches used. And then there's a big side pocket on this side where I have my extra yarn for the crochet shawl, and a small pocket on this side where I have yarn for the beret that I mentioned in an earlier video that's not going to get worked on in this trip, and room at the bottom where I keep my Bible and daily devotions, and then the yarn goes on top. So I don't know if they carry, I don't know why I chose this bag, partly because it coordinates with the lens and duffel bag I packed my clothes in, and also, hold on a second, this cute little small lens and bag, which might be good for a small project, where I keep my supplements and medications and other things. So that's it for this video. I need to pack up the car and drive back to Orlando. And I'll be posting pictures with narration of the things I took pictures of, and I'm hoping I'll get a photo of the children's crochet chains, because I think that's very interesting. I've never taught a child to crochet, and I learned to crochet as a teen with a specific project in mind. So this is interesting to me, and maybe it'll be helpful to some of you as well. Have a great day. Here's a photo I took in Winter Haven of the storefront for Four Pearls Yarn Shop. And here's her nice little chalkboard welcoming sign. And this next picture will be inside the window of the storefront. And the last picture I take will be in the store of these same new yarns that she's brought in. I forget, I didn't look to see who bought them, who made them. Then this is the Elton cardigan, and I'm going to make the Elton tee. And this raft of yarn right here is the marvelous mohair, or whatever it's called, that you can use for the mohair portions. This batch of yarn, some of it is Emma's yarn, and some of it is other yarn that she carries in her store. And then the next couple of pictures are every side of the display of the Mo slub, almost any color you could possibly want. And one of the shawls is the one I'm going to make, and the other one is a different pattern. And they both just will variegate from the slub to the mohair on their own. So you could mail order. They'll ship anywhere in the world if you wanted to make this shawl. And then here we have the photo from the inside of the window display. And coming up is going to be the photo of the building across the street, and somewhere in this building is Emma's studio where she hand dyes the yarn. And the next photo coming up is my great nephew who is in first grade. This is the crochet chain that he has made. And the next photo coming up is a creative design put on the floor by his fifth grade sister, who crocheted a very long chain. And also, if you hold it together, it has this lovely wig-like look. So it's been an interesting trip, and I've enjoyed working with the children. I forgot to mention that they are going to dye the number of skeins of yarn that I need to make the fingering weight portion of the Elton tee and ship it to me at no charge. And also that I did successfully work with both children on creating a single crochet border around a washcloth that I made, and that I sent their mother some YouTube videos that I thought that they could probably handle on their own now that I got them started. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.